What's going on, guys? I know what you're thinking. Don't even say it. 3 weeks. Don't know how it happened. I swear it wasn't supposed to take this long. What if I part 9 with Lee Jones? What if I was in My Hero Academia, part 9? Not sponsored. My homeboy got me to drinking these. I don't drink them often. He drank the regular kind. I drink this vanilla kind because, you know. Alright, I don't know. I'm sorry. Alright, look, alright, let me stop. No, guys, for real. Back with part 9. What if I, My Hero Academia, where we last left off. I remember telling y'all at the start of the last episode, basically where we were at was the end of season 1, basically. And to recap or continue to explain basically as a matter of time, so you know where it is in canon with the actual My Hero story, it would be the end of season 1 after the current events. After Shigaraki gets shot up and then they take him away. What him and Black Shadow escape, whatever the man name is, they escape. Jesus Christ, I got this is a long time. All Might beats that no move, sends him flying, all that good jazz. So basically, this episode 9 right now is going to be that in between, before the end of season 1, but before season 2. The last events that happened on episode 8, longest episode we've done so far. Lee Jones, Stain theoretically accomplished their mission and killed Diamondback Jack and Icarus. Lee Jones more so non-purposely killing the people, more so just going off of his emotions and instincts. Stain dealing the final blow to Diamondback Jack. I can't remember what I called that dog, man. I hate that too, because that was a cool name, and I know I could go back and watch it, but 2 seconds. It was Abyss. Had to look it up real quick, because I was gonna call him Absol, and I knew that was wrong. I knew that was a Pokemon, but yeah, it was Abyss. Love it. Okay, so basically where we are is Stain is gone. Lee Jones is unconscious, with the bodies of Icarus and Diamondback Jack around him. So basically, I'm gonna go get right into the episode, man. No need to wait too long. Straighten that up. Tap. There we go. So episode starts with a news lady. I've realized I don't think I've done a single woman's voice this entire time. I don't know how I've gotten away with that, but it starts with a woman's voice. You're watching the TV and you see on the news, local, what would he be? Because he was a good hero. Local hero aiming for the top 10, Diamondback Jack and his assistant or sidekick, Icarus, have been slain. No reports have been made on who the killer was. Also, in other events, around said bodies, we were able to attain and finally find that lost boy who's been gone ever since how long? He's been gone for like almost, yeah, he's been gone for I think it's been about 2 months. I think he's been gone for like 2 months. Yeah, he's been gone because it was like 3 weeks of training. Yeah, he's been gone a while. So we're just gonna round it to 2 months. It might not be 2 months. I'm gonna say 2 months. He's been missing for 2 months, and currently, as it stands, he is in the ICU. We don't know what his correlation is to the bodies, and we're not entirely sure if Stain left him there, or if it was Stain at all, or if he's just been lost in general. He is in the same hospital where Fat Gum has been getting treated for his injuries. Update on that, Fat Gum has recently woken up. So we're going to be back later with more news. So we got away from that, of course. We end up going to the hospital where Bad Money, I can't remember their names. God, I can't remember that other man's name. Where it's not Stain. Lee, God, I'm sorry guys, it's been a while since I've done this. Lee wakes up. He wakes up in the hospital, kind of frantic, but extremely exhausted, because realistically, other than training with Stain, which did of course help his fortitude in his chest, make him, he can breathe longer, he can fight now. He can fight kind of close. He can come get you now, but he still has his daggers. He still has his daggers, but they're not like right on him. Of course, they took everything from him because He wakes up and he realizes, because, well, when he wakes up, he tries to move and stuff, but he realizes how exhausted he really is. But once he does finally kind of manage to sit up a little bit, he does realize that not only is he missing his daggers, he's missing his vape, and his hands are handcuffed to the bed. So as he finally wakes up and he kind of starts to pull, he looks to the left and hears a voice in the, it's another woman. Yeah, it's a female detective, and she says, so you finally chosen to wake up, have you? And then he turns over and he's like, what are you talking about? Finally chosen? Where am I? Very confused, very bewildered, not really sure. He's like, where's Stain? That's the next immediate. And then he really starts trying to give up. I mean, the lady detective puts her hand on his chest and says, calm down, boy. We're not going to be doing any of that. What happened? And he's then starts kind of recalling like blah blah blah, Diamondback Jack, and he was kidnapped, and Icarus, and Stain train. But he doesn't say any of this. He's just trying to recall everything in his head. She says again, but this time more forceful. She has her hand on his chest, kind of stopping him from getting up. Then she kind of grabs his shirt and kind of pulls him forward. Of course, his hands are tied. His hands are handcuffed, so he's kind of like just chest up. I said, what happened? Tell me where you've been for the past 2 months, and why when we finally find you, your body is around the bodies. Note I said bodies, dead bodies of Diamondback Jack and Icarus. Diamondback Jack, might I add, was seemingly the number 15 hero, aiming to get into the top 10. Can you explain yourself? I'm gonna be honest with you. Lee Jones wants to be a hero, wants to do right, but he knows if he says the wrong things here, that's not gonna continue to help him become a hero. So he tells her, I was kidnapped by Stain during my, what was it, like a trial course to finally pass to actually make it into UA. I was attacked, myself, Fat Gum, Kirishima. First we were attacked by, God, those two losers, I can't even remember their names. He describes the two villains, the one with the earth abilities and then the one with the rune powers. I think it was Rune Master. I don't want to call that man Rocket, but Rune Master. I know Rune Master. I vaguely remember that name, and then I can't remember the other guy's name. So he kind of gives, and that's kind of the synopsis of what, because realistically Lee Jones really would not remember their names either, for real. Like, I mean, it was a fight, but he really did, he helped, but he didn't help. He took damage, but it was mainly mental. So mentally he was already exhausted. Then when Fat Gum is trying to alleviate him and save him and get him out of there, then Stain shows up. Then the dog show, his new pet smoke monster thing shows up. He's really not honestly mentally there. A lot of this has just kind of been him just going through the motions. So then he explains to her that Stain took him, and he doesn't mention that Stain trained him. He just says Stain held him hostage. That was loud. That was my wrestler. I'm sorry. Oh, that was Eddie Guerrero. He tells her that Stain basically took him and held him hostage for 2 months. And one day he came, took him out, and had him fight, had him watch as he killed Diamondback Jack and Icarus. The detective pushes, like, lets go of his shirt and says, why was your smoke inside of Icarus? Then, why was your smoke inside of Icarus? Because Lee doesn't respond. He's just kind of looking. Why was your smoke inside of Icarus and Diamondback Jack? But when she says the second part, he realizes he didn't use his smoke on Diamondback Jack, did he? But then he doesn't remember. Because, remember now, that last part, he blacked out. He doesn't really entirely remember any of what happened. So, he says, I have no idea. I might have caused some smoke to escape. But, and this is when the lady gets kind of upset. The detective, she gets up and she grabs her hands. She grabs him like here and pulls him up. Basically his arms are like outstretched like way back here. And he's like, she's lifted him off and she says, you think this is a game? Diamondback Jack was a great hero and he saved my life several times before. So I'm not going to say this to get, and as she's getting ready to basically assault this handcuffed child, Lee's family comes in. Mother, his father. I don't have a picture of them, and I think I'm gonna keep it without a picture for a while unless I decide to make them somebody worth something. And of course they're yelling, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So, they kind of start getting loud, and the doctors come in, the nurses, everybody's kind of pulling people apart because it's about it's about to get down. The detective is then, of course, told to leave. It's Lee, Nerengeki, and God, man, I can't remember any of his friends' names. I know Nerengeki. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 more seconds. God dog, I hit it too hard. Alright, no, my fault. I don't know why I'm forgetting all these names. Abyss, Toguro, Nerengeki. And it's crazy because Nerengeki, I remember now, I couldn't remember his name. I kept saying Naruto's cousin and stuff, and that was not right, but it's his mother, his father, Nerengeki, which I can put Nerengeki right here, so y'all remember who that is, and Toguro. I'll put him right here so y'all remember who that is. Basically, it's so many people right now that, never mind, I ain't even gonna talk about it right now. There we go. But yeah, they're all in there. Toguro, "Hey man, where have you been at? I haven't seen you in forever. We all thought you were dead or something. Why didn't you tell us what happened?" And Toguro immediately sharpens up his hands, and he just cuts Lee up. Or not up, he cuts his wrist, the handcuffs off, and Lee's like, "Yeah man, what can I say? He kidnapped me. It was Stain." And Nerengeki's like, "That's not really an excuse, Lee. I mean, we're your friends. You could have asked us for help." And Lee's like, "I was kidnapped. I don't think you guys understand." Toguro, "Hey man, let me tell you something. If you ever do that again, I'm gonna kill you myself." And then Lee's listening. Lee's here, but Lee's mind is very much so off in the sense of he knows deep down he is the reason Diamondback Jack and Icarus are dead. He doesn't know where Stain is, but he certainly would like to know. And he actually, right now, he doesn't know how Fat Gum is doing. But he's overall excited to see his friends, and he's excited to be alive, I guess would be the best way to describe it. His mother hugs him, his father hugs him. And he asked them, "Are you guys okay?" And they're like, "Yes, we're fine. We just, we haven't seen you, and you've been gone for so long. And we just, the mother busts out and go to crying. Then the dad, yeah, son, we just really happy you're back." And then Toguro and Nerengeki cut in, and they're like, "Come on, guys." Well, Toguro mainly, "Come on, guys, don't drown him with the waterworks. Hey, guess what, Lee?" And then Lee's like, "What?" "I'm in class 1B, and so is Nerengeki over here." And Lee's like, "What? You guys passed?" And then Nerengeki, "Well, it wasn't exactly easy, not exactly 1A, but we did pass, so we are at least at UA. First semester wasn't too bad, nothing we really couldn't handle. 1A got a bit of a beating going on out here. They were attacked by a small group of villains or something like that. But, if we had been there, we would have helped them. We could have stopped it, but of course we weren't there." So, "Yeah, if I had been, I would have cut all the villains up." They're all kind of just having a good moment. And then Lee kind of starts to zone out again. And then that's when he kind of just passes back out, because like I said, physically and mentally he's exhausted. So he passes back out. He sleeps for 2 days. He's unconscious for 2 entire days. He finally wakes up rejuvenated enough to actually physically move around a lot, get up out of the bed even. And when he gets out of the bed, it's late. It's about midnight. He gets up, he gets out of the bed. He starts walking down the hall. He's still in the hospital now. He's still in the hospital. It's dark. There's no real there are of course nurses there, but nobody's around per se. He starts walking. He's on his way to what I would call the vending machine. I was gonna say public bath, but that's stupid. Why wouldn't he just bathe in his room? I guess they don't have a shower, but you know what I mean. He's going his way to the vending machine. And as he gets to the vending machine, he takes, yen, quarter, whatever you want to call it, wherever you are. He puts it in the machine, buys a candy bar. It's a payday, not sponsored. As he bends down to pick it up and he comes back up, he looks to the right and he sees Diamondback Jack's, like, I guess you could say silhouette. He sees Diamondback Jack, basically. And he drops the payday and he reaches for his dagger that he doesn't have and he swings. But after he swings, there's nobody there. So he kind of like in his head a little bit like, all right, that's, it's kind of starting to like, he's not losing his mind per se, but it's a lot happening now. He looks back down, he picks up the payday, he looks around again, he doesn't see Diamondback Jack. He doesn't see Icarus. He doesn't see Stain, who's not dead, but mentally in there. And then he goes back to his room. But once he gets back into his room, he sees this man sitting in his bed. The man is who he knows as the guy who gave information to Stain for them to find Diamondback Jack and/or Icarus. I believe I called him Joker. I believe I think he wanted to go by Steve. Whatever you want to call him. Lee himself immediately doesn't have any of his weapons, so he reaches for his vape. He reached for one hand dagger, one hand was going for his vape. He doesn't have either one. Joker, Steve, hey man, whoa, come here, I'm happy you're well. Most people don't actually survive who hang out with Stain. I'm also one of the rare exceptions. And Lee, what are you doing here? And you're gonna tell me right now, and you're gonna tell me where Stain is. And Steve's like, man, come on, calm down. Stain's not here right now. He's not in Japan. He say he's running some errands or something right now. Let's call it that, overseas. And Lee's like, well, what do you want? What do you mean? What else could I want? I can't check on a friend? Oh yeah. And then he reaches out and he throws Lee the mask that he wore. Put that mask back up, that mask. He throws Lee the mask that he wore on the job. And Lee's like, how do you have this? And he's like, well, Stain brought it to me after, the thing. He didn't want, really like your secret identity, to be revealed. Didn't want people to know that you were the masked bandit working with him, right? And besides, he's looking out for you. And then that's when like Lee runs to him and like tries to land a punch. But this is when you really kind of can see what Steve's power is. If you know the other guy from My Hero who kind of has the power with the multiple arms, imagine that, but Steve can do that with every part of his body. As well as remove and regrow. So as Lee throws the punch, Steve literally just makes his head go directly into his body, so he cannot be hit. So Lee misses and kind of falls to the floor. And well, he's falling to the floor, and he's a good couple feet away. So then Steve turns, he's reached out a hand to grab him, and then another hand comes out of his palm, and then another hand comes out of that palm, and then he grabs Lee and pulls him back up and says, hey man, shh, with his stomach now coming out of like his side with another hand. It's really gross looking, honestly. Just the best way to describe it is gross. I'm like, shh man, we can't make a bunch of noise, it's a hospital, don't you know where you are? But here's your mask. And then he also pulls out the daggers and says, here are your daggers. I know you probably thought they had it, but no. We left you your vape. They have that, but your daggers are, they were properties of Stain's, and he said you could actually keep them. And I said, okay, I'll return them for you. But the reason I'm here, kid, and then Lee's like, because Lee is like wants to kind of like do something, but Lee knows like this guy isn't particularly maybe strong, but Lee knows that there's a lot to this guy's ability and power that he can't really decipher. And he's in a hospital, and he's even with his daggers like still unarmed. For real, if we're keeping it above, like. So he's like, so let me tell you, kid, the reason I'm here is because I like you. I like you more than I like that guy you were working with, Stain. He's a buddy of mine, but he doesn't respect me. He calls me Joker. My name is Steve, as you know. I never got your name, kid. And then he kind of extends one of the hands, and another hand that he's now grown as he's now retracted more hands and put his head back where it's supposed to be. And Lee doesn't shake his hand, but he says, my name is Lee Jones. Your business, you keep saying you're here for a reason, but what is your reason? Oh yeah, gosh, I can ramble on for a while sometimes, kid. What do you say you start helping me? You help me, I help you. I got a few jobs I would like you to help me with. And then Lee, before he can kind of even continue this, said, why would I help you people? Stain kidnapped me. You gave us a mission to murder heroes. I technically helped him murder the heroes. And now I believe I'm possibly the number one suspect for their demise. Why would I help you? And then that's when he says, that's the point. You really don't have much of a choice, do you? If you do help me, there are some things I can promise you. One, I can throw them off the scent. I can make it seem like Stain had you just as much as he had them in the palm of his hands, and you were nothing more than a pawn in this game. I could even make it seem as though you weren't even there, if you want. Another thing, you failed your test. Your preliminary test, the main test, and the test with Kirishima. But I could get you in. I could change some documents, get into some research files, get into the database, and I could get you in the UA. Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you like to be a proper hero and not just a vigilante? And besides, I'm not going to have you kill anyone. Unless you want to now. That's entirely up to you. And then Lee, hearing the fact that he failed every test that they gave him as far as like to pass, he kind of falls to his knees and he's kind of like, I failed? But what about Fat Gum? And then before he can get that up, what about Fat Gum? What about Moomin Rider? I forgot about Moomin Rider. Big Moomin Rider, boy, watch out. What about and then he looks up like, what about, Moomin Rider and Fat Gum's report? And then he says, well, Fat Gum's been in the hospital all this time. He's been in the hospital since she's been gone. And Moomin Rider, well, you know how Moomin Rider is respected. Not very. So, it's your choice, kid. You could always take the test again next year. But I can't promise you'll pass then either. I will admit, Stain's gotten you kind of stronger. Because, like I said, I'm a man of information. I saw the videos, I saw the results, I saw your scores and stuff. You did okay before, but what Stain has made you into now it's a threat. You could almost be worth something now as a hero or something else. So, kid, I'm not gonna beat you over the head over it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Just know that I'll be back. Because you're not going to get released from the hospital for another 4 days. Yes, 4 days, I know. When I come back on the third night, tell me what you want. And if you don't help me, that's fine. I won't purge you. I won't tell them you did it. I just know our business is done. But as of now, I'll leave you with a few parting words as well. Stain is gone, but there is somebody who may be after you because of Stain. Can't tell you who though. So I'll see you in 3 days with your answer. It's whatever you want to do, kid. Bye. And then he grows like five to 10 arms on each side out of his back to make wings. Opens the window. They're on the 5th floor. Opens the window and then he basically flies away like a monster. So So right there, man, that's exactly what we're going to end the episode at. And as you already can tell, you should already know what the question is going to be. Does Lee Jones help Joker / Steve? Does he help Joker / Steve with the promise of not being convicted and getting into UA? Or does he not help Steve / Joker and go about it his own way and face possible trial and even possibly what's it called, trial and persecution as well as arrest in real time, you know, on his own? And I'm gonna tell you guys, it's either one is fine. I'm not pulling anybody's arm or telling you gotta do that. Either one is fine. But yeah, man, that's it, man. I promise you, on Jackie Chan Cousin, I'm gonna be back on these. I'm gonna have to take some time on this one because I want some people to I want everybody to see it, and I want everybody to get a chance to vote and actually get their opinion on it. But other than that though, bro, I promise y'all, back on it. Other than that though, guys, man, what else I've been doing? Another thing I'm starting doing, I'm streaming on TikTok every now and then. Not a lot, but just like 2-3 days out the week. I did it today, made like $2. Hey, $2, my $2. But other than that, man, that stream my music, Techie No Techie on my all stream platform. Shot my own music video. Check it out on my main channel. But yeah, man, Techie Gaming out. Man, if I didn't have to hit that button, that would have been cold, wouldn't it?